welcome. So, this is a fun little instrument over here. It's known as a kalimba. It's also known as an mbira. It's also known as a thumb piano. This specific one is a westernized kalimba that's got all the notes on a piano, basically. These are all the white notes that would be on a piano. These would be all the black notes that are on the piano. Very fun instrument to play. Lots of cool things you can do with it. It's a very relaxing instrument and a relatively quiet instrument. I really enjoy playing it, but I'm not the most adept at it. It's one of those things where I play it a lot because it relaxes me. I'll be on the go doing a bunch of things. I've got like 15 things to do in one day, run errands, go to a rehearsal, go to another rehearsal, go to a gig. And sometimes I'll have like 20, 30 minutes of dead time where I don't have anything to do and I don't have anything that I need to do. I just have to like wait and do nothing. And so since I've been going nonstop the whole day, little things like this, spending some time maybe in a park or in my car or wherever, it tends to really help me stay grounded, and it re-energizes me for the next parts of the day. And that's kind of something that I wanted to share with you guys about, is relaxing and recharging using music. I think a lot of us do that already. I would like to share with you some of the ways that I do that myself. I remember back in college, I was going all day doing classes. I had something like 6 different music classes, and then I had a pickup rehearsal that randomly showed up at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and I'm already tired. It's been a long day. I've been up there since who knows when, 7:30. I don't know. Doing music like crazy, and I was just tired. I didn't get to have lunch or something at that day or something. I don't remember all the details. All I remember is that I just felt exhausted. And I showed up to this rehearsal. I stood outside of the door to the rehearsal, and I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. But I promised, okay, fine, I'll show up. Well, it was a rehearsal playing some congas with some other percussionists that I know that are pretty cool. And I knew it was going to be physically demanding. And at the beginning of the rehearsal, I was very tired. We were cramped. It was small. It was hot. It was loud. And by the end of the rehearsal, I felt like I just took a 3-hour nap. It was amazing. I was just fully energized, ready to go, and I was just like, all right, what's the next thing to do? Oh, maybe I should do some homework. Oh, maybe I should do this. It was my second wind for the day. It was so nice. And so I find that music really helps me get there, really helps me kind of relax and get ready for the next parts of my day. It just helps rejuvenate me. So kalimba, very fun to play, very easy to get calming tones. The kalimba this one is kind of based off of the mbira. It's been changed a little bit. The mbira is a instrument from Zimbabwe. It's from the people of Shona. And a lot of the times they'll have 2 rows instead of the 1 row I have like this. And instead of it being like really long, shorter, kind of like what is going on over there, it kind of starts really long here and gets shorter as you go the other way. And it has 2 rows. So instead of having a bunch of these on the back, it'll have 2 rows of them in the front. I kind of decided to start this part because if anybody went on to Google recently, they did a little doodle thing, and it was about the mbira from the Shona people in Zimbabwe. And it was really fun, really cool. I got to play it a little bit, and so I was like, oh, I haven't touched this instrument in a couple of days. I need to play that. So I got to reconnect with my instrument because of Google. So thank you, Google. So next thing I'd like to do is I'd like to listen to a couple of pieces. Um, Due to copyright or whatever, it's gonna be me, which is whatever. But uh, some of what I do with music is I kind of like get into a meditative state while listening. Sometimes I'll close my eyes or I'll relax or maybe even lay down. Usually I'm sitting down or laying down. I'm usually not standing because if I relax too much, I don't want to fall down. Um, and then me being who I am, my brain is buzzing all the time, and I think a lot of us are the same way. And sometimes it's hard to just turn it off. So what I do is what I kind of call a soft reset. Um, Kind of like a computer. There's the restart button, and then there's like the turn it off button. And I kind of restart my brain, get it all ready to go, and it usually works a little bit better moving forward. So let's start with a little bit of music. We'll just listen to this piece that I have that's going to pop up. And um, the goal of this piece is to just kind of relax you. You don't have to think about anything. There's no prompts or anything. All you got to do is take some nice deep breaths, keep your eyes nice and closed, and just relax and just let it happen. So let's listen to a little bit of this tune, shall we? Yeah, that's a really fun piece to play. Um, it's a improvisation that I did several years ago um, up at UNR when I was still a student there. And it's an improvisation called Healing. And I played it because that day was a very hectic day. A fellow percussionist and I, we spent probably an hour and a half, 2 hours setting up for a rehearsal. There was just a pile of percussion everywhere. And what I ended up doing is when we finished up, we had some free time, and the other percussionist was sitting in the audience of the stage that we were set up at, and he was tired, and some weird things were going on, and he was kind of just frustrated, and I was a little tired and frustrated myself, and it's like 9 o'clock. We should not be tired and frustrated at 9 o'clock when we've been up for 3 hours doing things, and, that's our normal day. And so I decided that there was a whole lot of just built up stuff going on. So what I ended up doing is I ended up playing this piece, and by the end of it, both he and I were like, okay, now we can tackle the day. So I don't just listen to music to help calm me down. Sometimes I'll have exercises that I use in my head to kind of get me going and help me get even more relaxed and focused. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of walk us through it a little bit. If you want to participate, go for it. All it requires is a place to sit, maybe a place to lay down, a place where you can be nice and relaxed, and a place where you can listen while you're doing this. And I'm going to give you some. I'm going to talk over the piece, give you some instructions, and yeah. So here we go. First things first, I got to start the piece back over. All right, so get to your nice sitting or laying place. For me, I'm sitting down in a chair. And all you got to do is close your eyes, relax, and focus on breathing. Take big, deep breaths. Maybe take some small breaths. Just what kind of breaths are there? There is no right or wrong way to breathe at this point. It's just what kind of breathing is there? Kind of explore. Like a young child, they tend to see something and they're like, "Whoa, how many ways can I, look at this thing? How can I explore just a bush or whatever?" That's kind of what we're going to start doing. So, closed eyes and relaxing. So at this point, I would like you to start thinking about a flower. It can be any flower. It can be a large one. It can be a small one. It can be very colorful. It can be whatever you want. Does your flower have thorns? Does it have big leaves? Start looking at the flower from a different perspective. Instead of just looking at it the one way you were seeing it, try to rotate it so you can see the back of the flower. Maybe there is no back. Is the flower healthy? Does it have some wilting to it? Is it an odd flower? Is it a flower that doesn't even exist in the real world? Now I want you to slowly zoom out. Is the flower by itself? Is it in a forest? Is it in a field? Is it with a bunch of rocks? Are there other flowers just like it? Take the perspective off of the flower. Start drifting up to the skies. Or maybe your flower was inside. Maybe you're looking at the roof of a building. What do you see up there? Do you see a bunch of clouds? Is it stormy? Is it blue? Are there tiles on your ceiling? What's there? Start taking your picture and slowly let it go. And go back to just breathing. Maybe breathe deeply. Big, long breaths. Maybe breathe a little bit quicker. Maybe breathe from your stomach. Or breathe using your shoulders. Breathe in through your nose or mouth. And then slowly open your eyes back up. If you were laying down, maybe slowly sit up. If you are sitting nice and relaxed, maybe slowly sit back in a normal position. So a lot of people probably have the same type of feelings that I generally do with my brain. I tend to think a lot and I can't stop it really. And I found that this kind of an exercise, and I have plenty of exercises, this kind of an exercise really forces my brain to start thinking a very specific way. And when it does that, it takes a lot of processing power. It takes a lot of thinking power to create these images and to create these bigger images and all the changes that can happen. And so what it does is it starts making me not think about the distractions that the day has brought me. So then when I'm focused on like the flower, for instance, I'm too busy trying to get all the details that I can in this flower. I'm too busy trying to figure out where it lives and how it looks. And when I finally put the image down and go back to breathing, I start paying attention to more basic things that my body needs, like when I'm angry or when I'm sad or when I'm, super excited or whatever, maybe I'm frustrated. A lot of the times when I go through one of these relaxation sessions, I find that it's not that I'm angry that somebody said something to me that made me feel bad, or I'm frustrated that something didn't go my way or whatever. Usually what it ends up being is, I'm tired. I should probably take a nap. Or I'm hungry. I should probably go get some food. A lot of the times it goes down to something more basic than what somebody did to me or what I didn't get or what I did to somebody. And that's pretty cool, in my opinion. Really helps me get grounded back to listening to my body. A lot of people, from my understanding, I'm not an expert by any means, it seems like as we get older, we start thinking less about the body as a whole and start thinking about, here's the mind, and then here's the vehicle that gets us to where we need to go. We don't think of our hand too much as like, oh yeah, this is totally a part of our body. We got to take care of it. It's got to be nice and all that good stuff. It's more like, okay, this is my grabber. I grab things with it. I tell it what to do. It does the thing. And then my brain is the actual me. We are not necessarily that disconnected. When the body's upset, the brain will get upset. So if you're super hungry, super tired, maybe you got hurt, and your body's like really stressed out with all that, it doesn't matter too much about how you're feeling. Like you could feel like everything that day could be going well, but if you're exhausted and you're hungry, chances are you're going to be upset, or maybe tired or frustrated, or I don't know why, I'm just out of it today. That's something that I found is we're connected. Our body's connected. Now, it goes the opposite way. If we are super happy or really positive, a lot of the times our body, our immune system actually improves a little bit, and then there's a couple other like health things that kind of change. It's really weird. I've been doing a little bit of research on that, and it's kind of crazy how a good mindset can help your body. That said, if you're really sad or angry all the time, you get stressed out easier. You get sicker easier. Um, they've done some studies, and it shows that people tend to get sick more often when when their outlook of life is very negative. Um, so I try to keep a positive outlook, or at least a realistic outlook. I don't want to be a pessimist. I want to be uh, seeing more of what's there. Um, and I do a lot of thinking about how the brain works and psychology and stuff, because a lot of music deals with the inner psychology of who we are. Um, so, just some things that I wanted to share with you. Now, all the music we played is super relaxing, super calm. It's not always the case for these relaxation sessions for that to happen. Sometimes a calming, relaxing piece of music for you is not a calming, relaxing piece for somebody else. So I'm going to play another piece that's kind of calming and relaxing for me that might not be what you would generally think of as calming, relaxing music. So let's try this. Cool. So that's a piece, that's a jam session that my band had a little while ago. The band is called Freemium, and we were getting done with a rehearsal. We just finished our rehearsal, and the piano players just started playing that groove. Ba-dum bum 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 bum. Ba-dum bum bum bum. And then we took that and just created an entire jam out of it, an entire tune. And it's not calming, it's not relaxing. It kind of has a groove to it, and it was just really fun to play. But I find that to be relaxing. A couple other tunes that I've found to be relaxing sometimes exist in hard rock or some other music that's generally not considered, nice and calming and soothing. Every person has their own tastes, and every person gets affected by music slightly differently. So it's really good to be aware as to what you personally connect with. I find that there's some music that I very much enjoy that will actually kind of like shut me down, where I'll listen to a symphony of amazing musicians doing crazy cool stuff, and I'll be sitting there like holding on to consciousness because my body is like, okay, time to take a nap. Other times I'll be listening to something kind of calming and relaxing, lo-fi something or other, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's go like do some heavy lifting, let's do some hard work. It does the opposite effect of what it should. So being kind of aware of what your body tends to react to is really important. Music isn't always about dance. Music isn't always about having great fun. Sometimes music is about relaxing, calming down, and getting focus back. So if there's any questions, feel free to bring them out. Today is going to be a nice, calm, relaxing day. I don't think this stream will go for much longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit more of my kalimba for you. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Shout outs to Brewery Arts Center for, again, putting this on. And then shout outs to Katie Sound Co. for, again, the sound and the sound over here that you don't get to see. It'd be kind of nice if I could show you the videos as I was having you listen to them, but I'm not the best with technology, and two, I don't have a whole lot of resources available to me, seeing how as this lockdown kind of like took everyone by surprise. So I'm just doing what I can. Hopefully you enjoy it, and here we go, some kalimba. Awesome. Well, I hope you had a nice little calming, relaxing time. Hopefully some of this information helps you in your musical endeavors for listening to music. It's not always about how do you play music. In fact, most of the time it's about listening to music. And I hope this helps you find new and improved ways to listening to music that you might not have thought about before. So, yeah. That was a fun time for me. I hope it was a fun time for you. And I will see you guys next time.